You're about to see 5 of the creepiest paranormal photos ever. First up, the infamous Cooper family photo. In the 1950s, the Cooper family purchased an older home in Texas. Their first night in the house, the father took a photograph of the family to commemorate the event. They posed happily at the dining room table. Weeks passed, and the father took the roll of film to the local pharmacy to have the pictures developed. A week later, Mr. Cooper picked up his photos, started looking through them, and he was stunned. When he got to the photo taken of his family that first night in their new home, he saw this. A figure coming down from the ceiling. Clearly, Mr. Cooper did not see him when he took the photo, so where did he come from? This photograph has been widely debated on the internet, many believing it's paranormal. Was this the ghost of a previous owner of the home? Others say it's double exposure. But if it is, I ask, who poses like that? Why is the body positioned in such a strange way? Who stands like that for a photo? No one I want to know, that's for sure. I mean, can you imagine getting your photos developed and seeing that? Oh, makes you wonder how long the family lived in the home after that. I'd make like a bread truck and haul buns. I'd be out of there. What about you? Next up, the faces in the mirror. In 1990, Stephen and Beth Lee and their 2 sons moved into their dream home, a secluded house in the beautiful Black Forest region in Colorado. After years of renting and saving up, the 5-acre parcel of land was everything they had hoped for. But not so fast. The Lees were not informed by the previous owner that he believed the house was haunted. Very haunted. Not because he didn't want to tell them, but because he was afraid of being laughed at. Within weeks of moving in, the activity began. The family would come home to lights flashing in every room of the house. They would wake up to the sounds of people stomping across the roof in the middle of the night, along with the sounds of chains rattling. Even creepier, the family would hear orchestra music coming from the woods. The family said they would smell this strange odor that would burn their eyes and throats. The sons began seeing strange shadows and figures in the home and in the woods surrounding it. Initially, Stephen believed that this was the work of pranksters, someone trying to scare the family. So Stephen installed a state-of-the-art security system with video surveillance and motion detectors. But the family was horrified as the system would go off with no one around to trigger it. In fact, over the next 4 years, the family had over 60 break-ins. Things got so bad, El Paso County Sheriff's Department opened an investigation, coming to the house dozens of times. But they never found any criminal activity, because this wasn't the work of any prankster. This was paranormal, and the family realized their house was haunted. There were quite a few ghostly photos taken in the Lees' home, but the most disturbing by far is this photo, taken in a mirror in an upstairs bedroom. As you can see, there appears to be 2 ghostly faces in the mirror. Some say when they look at this, they can even see 3 faces. This is one of the creepiest photos I have ever seen. Their faces, their expressions, nightmare fuel. The identity of these 2 apparitions remains a mystery. Paranormal investigators believe there are numerous entities in the home. It's also believed that the Black Forest itself is some kind of paranormal hotspot, a gateway, a portal to the other side. If you want more on the Black Forest haunting, I did an entire episode on it. It's fascinating. Linking that below in the show notes. Check it out. Our next photo, the woman in the back seat. Miss Mabel Kennery took this photo in March 1959 in England, her husband sitting in their car. After the photo was developed, she saw her mother, Mrs. Hamill, sitting in the back seat. The problem was, this photo was taken after a visit to Miss Hamill's grave. She had passed away the week before. Mabel said she had her camera and took numerous photos of her mother's grave and wanted to use up the rest of the film, so she snapped this picture of her husband. In one report, an expert who examined the photo said the image of Mabel's deceased mother in the back seat didn't appear to be a reflection or an overprint, saying the photo appears to be genuine. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. All I gotta say is the next time I'm leaving the cemetery, I'm checking the back seat. Next up, the lady on the stairs. You're looking at one of the most famous spirit photography images of all time. This photo is considered by many to be real photographic evidence of ghosts. Taken at Raynham Hall in Norfolk, England in 1936 by a country life photographer and his assistant. The two were taking photographs of Raynham Hall for an article. They claimed they had already taken a photograph of the hall's main staircase and were setting up to take another shot when they saw a vapory form gradually assuming the appearance of a woman moving down the stairs towards them. The two quickly took the cap off the lens and pressed the button to activate the camera's flash. Later, when the negative was developed, the famous image of the quote-unquote brown lady was revealed. There have been countless sightings of the figure before and after the photo was taken, and for many this was just further proof that the hall is haunted. It's widely believed to be the ghost of Lady Dorothy Walpole, the 18th century mistress of the manor. Born in 1686, Dorothy was the sister of Robert Walpole, regarded as the first Prime Minister of Great Britain. She was the second wife of Charles Townshend, who supposedly had a wicked temper. Reports say that when he discovered his wife had committed adultery with Lord Wharton, he locked her in her room at Raynham Hall. She was allegedly never allowed to leave after that, not even to see her children. She stayed there at the hall until her death in 1726 from smallpox. Then the ghost sightings began. In 1835, a Christmas party at the hall was thrown. There, two guests told partygoers they had seen her apparition as they were approaching their bedrooms, dressed in a brown gown she was known to wear while she was alive, hence the Brown Lady. In 1926, two others saw her on the hall's staircase, identifying the figure with the portrait of Lady Dorothy, which is hung in the hall. You know, if I got locked in my bedroom, I'd be peeved. Majorly peeved. I think I'd have some unfinished business. Yeah, this is one of those photos that's been examined by dozens of photo experts and paranormal investigators, and many believe this is the real deal. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Our next photo, and one of my favorites ever, the Stanley Hotel photo. The Stanley Hotel in Colorado is legendary for its beauty and its ghosts. It's known as one of the most haunted spots in the world, the inspiration behind Stephen King's The Shining. Henry Yao recently visited the Stanley Hotel. After finishing up dinner, Henry took this photo of the staircase in the hotel's lobby. When he snapped the panoramic picture, he said he didn't notice anything unusual. But that night, Henry said he felt strangely sick, queasy, having stomach problems. He said he was surprised by this as he rarely ever gets sick. The next morning, he was looking through the photos he took the night before, and he saw it. In that photo of the hotel's staircase, a mysterious-looking figure can be seen at the top. He said there were no other people in the shot at the time he took the photo. He uploaded it to his social media accounts with the caption, "By golly, I think I may have captured a ghost at Stanley Hotel." I'm interested to hear what you see when you look at the photo. Many comment the figure appears to be a woman wearing an Edwardian-style gown. There's also quite a few people who see a ghostly child behind her. So did Henry actually capture two ghosts? But who could it be in the photo? The hotel first opened in 1909, and talk of paranormal activity began in the 1970s. The Stanley is reportedly haunted by numerous spirits. The hotel's founder, inventor Freeland Oscar Stanley, and his wife Flora are often seen in the hotel, even though they passed away decades ago. Their ghosts have been seen in the lobby area, and Flora can be heard playing the piano in the music room. The hotel is also reportedly haunted by a housekeeper who died on the grounds, often spotted on the second floor. I see the ghostly woman and the child, but what do you see? And which photo spooked you the most? Thanks so much for tuning in for this episode. Subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and turn on post notifications. I don't want you to ever miss out on an episode. Until next time, I'm Avery Ross, and this is Avery After Dark.